So what if I told you that the key to a calm, focused, and get this, truly unconquerable mind isn't some new age brain hack or a fancy productivity app? What if it's been hiding in plain sight for 2,500 years? Today, we're going to crack the code on an ancient guide that promises to make our minds unhackable. And the secret isn't about focusing on the mind at all. It starts with the one thing we live in every single moment: our body.
I mean, really think about that for a second. So much of our modern life is spent right up here, just lost in our thoughts. We end up treating our bodies kind of like a car, just something we use to get our brain from one place to the next. We're always thinking, planning, worrying. But when was the last time we were truly feeling? This crazy sense of disconnect, like we're a ghost in the machine, it's a very modern problem.
All right, so let's dive into how we can fix this. Here's the game plan. First, we'll talk a bit more about this modern disconnect, the body we forgot. Then we'll open up this ancient owner's manual, and we're going to look at it through 3 different lenses: a straightforward translation, then a deep dive into the original language to crack the Pali code, and finally, a visual translation to help us really see it. And trust me, the results this thing promises are incredible.
So yeah, this ghost to the machine thing. It's that feeling that our body is just a utility, right? Something we have to feed and rest and maybe drag to the gym, but it feels fundamentally separate from who we think we are. We've kind of forgotten how to just be in our own skin. But what if there was a map, a way to find our way back to ourselves, a guide written thousands of years ago, specifically to solve this exact problem? Well, there is. It's a Pali text called the Kāyagatāsati, and it's not really a philosophical text, it's more like a practical, hands-on owner's manual for being human.
So let's start with layer 1. What does the text actually say? We'll look at a clear, modern translation of the core instructions. What does this ancient manual tell us to do? Well, it begins with something so simple, it's almost revolutionary. The whole practice starts right here. The text says, when you're walking, you simply know I am walking. When you're standing, you know I am standing. Same for sitting, same for lying down. That's it. No story, no judgment, just a pure, simple awareness of what your body is doing in this exact moment. It's all about grounding your attention in physical reality.
Okay, so once we've established that foundation, that grounding in the present, the text takes us somewhere a lot more profound and, I'll admit, pretty intense. It asks us to look directly at the reality that our bodies don't last forever. And this isn't meant to be morbid, it's a powerful tool for freedom and real acceptance.
The Sutta walks you through these meditations where you visualize the body after death. You see it being eaten by crows and vultures. Then you see it reduced to a skeleton. Then the bones are scattered and bleached by the sun. And finally, they just turn to dust. And the whole point is to see, crystal clear, that this body too is of the same nature. When you can face that reality, you start to let go of so much clinging and so much fear.
Okay, so that was the literal instruction, the what. But this is where things get really interesting. Let's go a level deeper. Let's crack open the original Pali language, because when we look at the root meanings of the words, a whole new dimension of this practice just opens up.
The name of this practice is Kāyagatāsati. Now, the standard translation you'll see pretty much everywhere is mindfulness of the body, or maybe mindfulness directed to the body. And, that's fine. It gets the basic point across. But it misses so much of the power that's packed into those original words.
Here's the crucial shift. Using a linguistic analysis called Naruti, we look at the roots. The word gata doesn't just mean directed to. Its deeper meaning is gone to, reached, or arrived at. So you see, this isn't about an awareness that's just observing the body from a distance. It's an awareness that has fully arrived at the body and stays there. It makes the body its home base. It's a total immersion.
Now that shift from observing to arriving is huge, but it can still feel a little abstract, right? So to really get it, we need our third translation, a visual one. How can we picture this idea of arrival in a way that just clicks?
Okay, imagine your awareness is like this shimmering, glowing avatar made of pure light, and your physical body is this perfectly designed vessel, just waiting. Arrival is that moment when the avatar perfectly docks with the vessel. It's a complete, total union. Every single nerve ending lights up, every cell is just buzzing with presence. Your awareness isn't in your head looking down anymore. It is the body, fully and completely.
And this state of total arrival, this is the payoff. This is the whole point. Because when you are that fully embodied, something absolutely incredible happens to your mind.
It becomes fortified. It becomes, for all practical purposes, completely unhackable.
The Sutta uses this amazing character called Mara. You can just think of Mara as a symbol for everything that throws us off course: distraction, anxiety, negativity, you name it. And the text says that for a person who has really developed this embodied awareness, Mara simply can't find a way in. There are no cracks, no openings, no vulnerabilities to exploit. You're sealed.
The text gives us these brilliant similes to explain why. An undeveloped mind, one that's disconnected from the body, is like an empty water pot, just sitting there. Mara can come along and pour anything into it: worry, anger, doubt. But a developed mind, one that is full of this embodied presence, is like a water pot that's already filled to the very brim. There's literally no room for Mara to add even one more drop.
And here's another great one. A vulnerable mind is like a piece of dry, brittle kindling. Any little spark of negativity, a critical comment, a small setback, lands on it, and whoosh, it bursts into a raging fire of emotional reaction. But the developed mind, that's like a piece of green, wet, sappy wood. That same spark lands on it and just fizzles out. It can't catch. The mind is too saturated with presence to burn.
And the results aren't vague at all. The text is super specific, listing 10 huge benefits. You become someone who can overcome dissatisfaction. You can endure fear and terror without being totally overwhelmed. You gain this ability to bear physical pain and hardship with calm. You find it easy to enter deep meditative states. To put it simply, you master your own mind.
So that leaves us with this one big question to chew on. In our constant search for mental strength and clarity, we're always looking for the next complex technique, the next big idea. But what if this ancient text is right? What if the real secret to an unhackable, invincible mind isn't another thought you have to think, but a place you have to arrive, a home that's been waiting for you this whole time, your own body?